Hey, so you guys probably already know this, but usually when the chapters are early, I'm late because it messes up my schedule. I'm not prepared to deal with Wednesday releases right away. That being said, better late than never. Here we are. Let's get right into it. The cover page, I think, is from a manga called Kochikame. At least that's the abbreviation. It just ended. And the protagonist, the guy on the bounty poster, I think is called Rio. And so you have the Straw Hats there sending their farewells. And honestly, this is basically a Naruto-like send-off from Oda. And you can honestly tell. The thing that this cover page made me realize is that Oda really didn't care enough about Bleach ending. Because when Oda takes the time to draw, like a cover page dedicated to the series finale of a series, you know that he really cares. And I know that when Bleach ended, he did write like a comment in the comment section of the Shonen Jump, and he was of the Shonen Jump. Of Shonen Jump, and he said, "Congratulations, Kubo Sensei, for your hard work. Get some rest or something like that." But honestly, when you take that and compare it to this, you can always tell when somebody is being nice just to be polite versus when somebody genuinely cares about something. Because Oda put in the work with this and Naruto. So in a way, I guess what I'm trying to say is that Oda kind of like friend-zoned Kubo a little bit. Now, when it comes to the chapter itself, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. It's important for me to be honest. I was flipping through those pages going like, what happened between Cracker and Luffy, bro? What happened? I didn't even want to go to the fight. Like, as long as we had gotten like an update about who won, that would have been great. We didn't get that. It's a totally 100% Vinsmoke centric chapter, which was still great. It was great quality. We got the character dynamics like we've never seen them before. We actually have all of the family interacting with each other, which, by the way, brings me to my next point. A lot of the stuff that's in this chapter, if you think about it, is not really new. Like, it's new in the sense that we haven't seen it, but a lot of it is kind of like, okay, yeah, this is how I would expect characters to interact. In fact, I kind of wish that Oda would have used this chapter as an opportunity to just mention, I don't even like mean show in a flashback, no, just briefly mention, like, give us a little hint about what happened to Sanji's mom. Those are honestly my only problems. And that's more on me being impatient than anything else, right? Everything else I thought was great. There are a couple of things that really, really fucking stand out that I'm like, it's giving me like a very bad vibe. And I'm not even talking about the ending yet. For example, all right, Reiju, the way that she's looking at Sanji, the way that she's observing the conversation unfold, and she's like this. It really reminds me of the way that Robin acted while she was working under Crocodile. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if like Oda just, that's like a trope that he has, but yeah, it's kind of like, and she doesn't say anything. Like, there's also a panel when we see all of the men, the Vinsmoke men, looking like really threatening and just being total douchebags, and Reiju's not there. So I'm wondering, why did you not include an extra panel for Reiju to sort of like, stress the fact that they're all villainous people. They're all like, they're not good, nice people. Another thing, man, and this was really shocking to me, was we actually got to see the extent of how much of a total douchebag Niji is. I mean, if he did that to Cosette, the chef, the cook, whatever. Like, have we ever seen like a female character that fucking beat up? That was some nasty. Like, her face is basically gone. I also thought it was pretty interesting how like Niji uses kicks just like Sanji. I mean, we haven't seen him fight to his full ability, but yeah, he's about to kick him in the face. Judge says, "Don't do that. You're gonna mess him up for the wedding." He stops himself, but even stopping himself, like the backlash that he created just with that one swing of his foot, right, sends the girl back. I'm like, the fuck? Like, what are you doing? So, yeah, that was impressive. Yonji, if you notice, doesn't fuck with Sanji anymore. He just kind of taunts him. But since Sanji beat him up, he just stays away from getting that next L, right? So he takes him over to Niji, or at least to this lab, right? And that's another thing too. I think what's going to end up happening is that like Sanji is going to have to fight Niji, Because think about it. If Ichiji is number 1, Niji's number 2, Sanji's number 3, it would only make sense for him to be able to like, in order for Sanji to grow and develop strength-wise to beat his older brother. I think that would make a lot of sense, poetic sense. Plus, in this chapter, Niji is basically the main Vinsmoke that directly went against Sanji's core values, which is to not hit women and to not waste food. So now it's more personal now. So I do feel that they have to settle this. Now, when it comes to Ichiji, I'm telling you, man, this guy is going to be a beast. I can already tell. Like, I'm getting some very strong Rob Lucci vibes from this guy. Look at the conversation that they're having throughout all of this. Like, Ichiji is super composed, super calm. There's a bit of a smirk here and there. But overall, look, I've seen enough anime to know that when there's like a group of villains or antagonists and one of them is like super silent and mysterious and calm and collected, that's the guy you want to watch out for. That's the guy that, because they're super composed because they know they can take on anything when the situation comes to it. So he's like super relaxed. Even the way he walks away, he's just like, eh. Like, he doesn't care. Like, I'm telling you, the only person, I'm calling it right now, I think the only person who can beat this guy is either Jinbei or Luffy. Because, like, I don't think Sanji's fucking with him. I definitely think he's stronger than Judge. There's a reason why his color is red. Red is it's probably the most aggressive color out there. And he's super composed. Like, look at the chapter. He only has, like, a few lines. Very, very cold and calculated lines. So I'm definitely getting some pretty threatening vibes from this Ichiji guy, right? And if you actually look at the beginning, like the establishing shot of the dining room, that's a total reference to Nazi Germany. You have the eagle in the middle, right, where Judge is sitting. And then you have the banners with the insignia. So total reference to Nazis, which makes even more sense when you consider the cliffhanger of the chapter, which is basically the Star Wars moment, right? When it's the Attack of the Clones scene where, like, Obi-Wan just goes into Camino and he sees this army of clones being created for the sole purpose of protecting the Republic, which will later become the Empire. And it made so much sense because, you know, how we talk about Whole Cake Island being like based on Disneyland or Disney World. It's very Disney-esque, right? So Big Mom has the whole Disney thing going on. And this has like a Star Wars vibe to it now. And so the fact that Star Wars is now owned by Disney, I wonder if that was kind of like inspiration for Oda for this alliance to take place. Because Oda has even said that he loves the prequels. He loves Star Wars, but he also appreciates the prequels. And this is totally like, you know, Attack of the Clones stuff. So another thing is that they mentioned the Reverie and the fact that in the future, the government will stop allowing them from going into the Reverie because now they are affiliated with a Yonko. But I'm guessing that as of right now, for this Reverie, they still have a representative there. I think it's like, okay, yeah, later on you're not going to be invited, but as of right now, you're still invited. At least that's the vibe that I got. Also, do you think this means that the Vinsmoke brothers are like genetically engineered clones or robots or something that like they were put through this process to increase like their body strength or something? Because we literally saw Yonji being fixed up by a mechanic not too long ago, and then in the flashback, I think it was Sanji who punched. I don't remember if it was like Niji or Ichiji or something, but he punched him in the face and nothing happened to him. So I don't know. Overall, like, this is a bad situation. I mean, if they unleash the clones on Luffy and the gang, like, how are they going to get out of there? Like, unless they call in the Alliance, and even then, I think it would be too soon for them to come in. How much time are they going to take to come in? It's really weird. Like, I don't know how they're going to leave Whole Cake Island unless they make friends with other people that we don't know about yet or that we know of and they're super strong. Because if the Vinsmokes just send out the army and each of these prototypes, now granted, the prototypes have different body types, so I'm pretty sure they have special skills, right? Depending on what type of body type they have. But if each of these are like, they're basically the strength of like, I'm just going to say like around Yonji level plus, that's going to be a problem. You have a shit ton of clones here, okay? Unless the government comes in and just, you know, commandeers the clones and takes them for themselves, or if frickin', you know, Vegapunk shows up, I'm pretty sure Vegapunk is going to tie into this. Everything that's technology related into the One Piece world, at least to some extent, I think has to bring in Vegapunk into the story, even if it's just by name. And so I'm just really worried, like, if Luffy has to go gear forth on a cracker biscuit clone, How the hell are they going to manage with all this? You have Big Mom, you have the Vinsmokes. If things keep going this way, this is going to cause an all-out civil war. And you're basically looking at like another version of Marineford, basically, because you have way too many characters, and you have too many characters on the opposing side. So unless people switch sides, all right, as Doflamingo predicted, like, I wonder who will betray who, then that could be a possibility. But even then, it's like, you got Jinbei with the Fishman, you have Capone ready to sort of like switch sides, bail on Big Mom or do something. I still think Bonnie has to show up. You got the Vinsmokes, you got, you know, Mama's Children. We have two commanders that we haven't seen before, which in theory should technically be stronger than Cracker. And now, thanks to this chapter, Zeph's life is being threatened? Like, what the? So, see, here's the thing, right? When somebody threatens you, like, or somebody threatens like a loved one, it's either, okay, all right, I have to end you, because if I don't, you're gonna follow through. So they're not getting out of there until they get rid of all the Vinsmokes. It's just common sense. How they're gonna do it, I don't know. I don't freaking know, especially with a freaking clone army and Luffy drawing breath against Cracker clones. I really don't know how it's gonna happen. So either Luffy and the gang are gonna be defeated horrendously. You're talking about L's for not even days, months, yo, months. Or a miracle's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna show up, something's gonna happen, they're like, oh, that levels the playing field. I mean, at this point, I'm thinking like Bonnie showing up, turning everybody into babies and shit. I don't know. And by the way, I just sort of like retaking the Zeph point. In the flashback, I thought it was really endearing. I love Sanji's backstory, but there's this one part where like Sanji's already smoking as a kid. Like he's cooking and you see the cigarette in his mouth. So I'm like, well, I guess he got really stressed out and that's where he started smoking. Overall, I thought the chapter was really good, and I have to be honest, this morning when I woke up before I left and read it, I thought it was a super meh chapter. I didn't think anything of it, but the more I thought about it and now doing this review, it's like, no, this was, the implications of this chapter are just tremendous and just really, really crucial for what's to come next. So I appreciated the chapter a lot more after this. So these reviews kind of helped me too. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you did. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Comment down below. Thanks, guys. Bye.